start. All right, I'm going to make sure really quick, Jen, that we're in Vitality Living. I just saw that I think we are. Hi, everybody. We are. Yay. Okay. Hello, Vitality Living. Hello, our wellness community. My name is Tanya Sheldon. I live in Meridian, Idaho. I have been a part of this amazing community called LifeVantage for 12 years. I celebrated my 12-year anniversary on October 5th. And today I get the privilege of bringing my dear friend, teammate, business partner, little bestie to you. Her name is Jen Pensinger. And we wanted you to hear her amazing story of just her journey of health, her struggles, her misdiagnosis, and how she came to where she's at today in feeling better and finding health again, and some of the things that she does even outside of LifeVantage that have led to her journey within this. So Jen, thanks for being here. We're going to get right into it, okay? I know that you grew up, we were joking that your dad made you take cod liver oil shots. Ew, that sounds so gross. So you grew up kind of in the, I think you call it like as scrunchy family, the crunchy, healthy family, right? Talk a little bit about that, like the awareness of health, but then tell everybody about when it turned for you and how you were feeling and what happened.
So thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here and share my story. Yes, crunchy. My parents were leftover hippies from the 70s, 100%. Even though they didn't necessarily look physically like that, we grew wheat berries in the kitchen. We took cod liver oil shots every morning. And like just the thought of that makes me physically ill, because if you've ever taken a straight up cod liver oil shot, like you have to wipe your mouth out. Like it's just, oh. So that was my childhood growing up. We didn't have chocolate chips. We had carrot chips. We didn't have regular milk. We had, soy milk, sprouted bread. Kids would come over and they'd be like, what's wrong with your chocolate chip cookies? I'm like, what? It's normal. Like that just was. And when you grow up that way, you think everybody does. So when I meet people and I tell them like, oh, you should try this, or, oh, you should do that, they're like, what? It's like foreign to them. And to me, that's just normal. So that was my childhood. I grew up that way. And then after I had my second kid, my health just really shifted. And I had been on a health journey even prior to having kids, but most of my adulthood, I had been misdiagnosed and kind of pushed aside. And I had tried to find a diagnosis as to what was wrong with me, because I just felt like something was off in my body and I didn't feel 100%. And then it really kicked up after I had my second child. It was code red. Like I was in a code red.
Sorry to interrupt, but can you tell people like how you were feeling? Like what were some of your symptoms that made you realize something was wrong?
I would be at the grocery store pushing a grocery basket and I would feel like all the energy just sucked right out of me. I would struggle to get out of bed. And I mean, I'm in my 20s at this point. This is when we're talking. So you should be full of life. You should be full of, vigor and vitality. And I was struggling to get out of bed, to get dressed, to get my kids ready. Oh, I'm going to get emotional. And they were little and I didn't want that to be, how they remembered me. And I would sit down on the couch and literally just like fall asleep. Like it was just awful. And I went to several different doctors. One of the doctors, talked to my husband instead of me, and was kind of like, oh, we're going to get her something that's going to fix her. Well, he totally misdiagnosed me. And then when I did finally get a diagnosis in 2010, I'm kind of like, okay, let's keep moving forward. Let's find the solution. Let's do it. Let's handle it. And once I got that, I was like, okay, my world was kind of rocked. I had 2 little kids. I was scheduled for surgery in 2011. I had my thyroid removed. And then they tell you, hey, you fixed it. You're good now. You're going to bounce right back. You won't have any downtime and you're going to be back to normal. So when that doesn't happen for you.
Basically, the problem was your thyroid. And they said, once you get rid of it, everything will be fine again.
Correct. Yeah. It's like, no, I actually had 2 diagnoses in 2010. One of them was something I didn't even realize I had. Had I known that, I probably would have done a little thing, several things different leading up to that. But then finally getting the diagnosis and being like, okay, now we need to remove your thyroid. And then you have all these procedures afterwards, you know, you're like reeling. And I got that diagnosis right before Christmas. So in 2010, it was right before Christmas when that happened. So in February, I had my thyroid out of 2011. And I thought, okay, I've done what I need to do. 3 months later, you have one other procedure you have to have done. And I thought, okay, after that, I'm going to be good. I'm going to feel normal. I'm going to be back to my old self. And I wasn't. And so I still brain fog, no energy, like just everything hurt. Like everything hurt. And I felt like I was 90 years old. And I thought, oh my goodness, what is it? What am I really going to feel like when I do get old? You know, like I don't want to keep progressing down that road. I lost my dad really young. And so there's other family stuff too that I was concerned about. And I thought, I have to be here to stick around for my boys, right? My boys are getting older. I want to be active with them. I want to have fun. I don't want to have fun. I don't want to feel like, you know, an old lady that, you know, was hard getting up and down the stairs. Like that just, you know, that was not good. So 2011 to 2019, I tried all the things. I was on lots of supplements, diets. I ran, walked a half marathon, thought I was going to die. I was like, okay, you know, I was trying to do all of the things to just feel good again. And then 2019, I really had another like kind of crisis moment. I was concerned that there was another possible diagnosis, maybe a couple other diagnoses, because when you have anything to do with thyroid or like autoimmune world, you know, they all mimic one another. And so it's really hard to like pinpoint. And I thought, I just can't, like, I cannot go backwards. There has to be an answer. And I kept praying, God, either heal me or send me something. And it came in the form of a tall blonde, so, who I am forever grateful, because I was looking to either go into like integrative medicine or something holistic or, you know, something herbal, because I thought I'm a big geek nerd researcher when it comes to earthy, crunchy things, because that's just my jam. Like, I just love it so much. And so I was looking into that, and then we went and had tea, and I was like, okay, all right. And you told me about it, and it just kind of dropped, and everything kind of clicked into place. My love for all the geeky, nerdy science stuff, my love for holistic, and what you didn't know at that time was I had 4 of the 5 herbs in a cart, getting ready to buy them online, because I had researched, this is going to fix me. This is what I've been looking for, right? And so I thought, well, hey, that's all together. I might as well try that. And I am so grateful, because literally within the month of me trying it, my husband
We're
realized the
talking
difference.
about the herbs of protandem, right?
Yes.
Nerve 2. Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah, I will never miss the day, because it has radically shifted not just my life, but my family's life as well. My husband noticed the difference, you know, like my energy level, just not feeling like I was 90, being able to get up the stairs by myself, clarity, just all of the things. I felt like I had hope again, because I had felt so hopeless. Like that was just going to be my life until I died. And I thought, there has to be something more. There just has to be. So I'm forever grateful that that one, you shared with me, that you were brave enough to share with me, and 2, just that I do feel like it was a God thing, that He totally answered my prayer in the form of a little yellow pill. So
I love it. What other, like, I know along the way, I mean, it's amazing that you had to suffer for so long, not getting answers. And that when you thought you got an answer, you were still suffering and didn't think there was a way, right? And then you are an advocate for yourself, which is such an important lesson for people. Advocate for yourself.
huge.
Right?
Yeah.
What else have you learned along the way, like that has been huge for you in your own health, whether it's inside LifeVantage or without or outside of it?
Just really getting rid of toxins in your home. Especially when you deal with autoimmune or just immune chronic issues, you pick up anything and everything along the way that comes along, any kind of cold that's floating around, any of the stuff. And so really like focusing on having clean products for your home to clean with, you know, being careful of what you're putting in your body, reading labels, making sure that you are aware of what you're putting in your body, one. And two, you know, first thing I did was change my deodorant to a natural deodorant because that's huge. Hair care, skin care, you know, like baby steps in those things, but those are all huge because our skin is our largest organ. So whatever we put on it, we're absorbing. So we need to be really, really careful what we put on it, what we're allowing into, you know, our pores and our lymph nodes and all of those things. So that those are easy places to start. Change your toothpaste, change your deodorant, get some different cleaning supplies. That's basic, right? That's something everybody can do. And then slowly work to get better hair care, skincare, body care, you know, and slowly just swap those things out, making healthy swaps, right? It can be overwhelming, especially when you first start, because you're like, I gotta get rid of everything. Just slowly and surely replace things and swap them out for something better. And there's so much out there too that you can find now. There's no excuse not to be able to find stuff because it's just very easy. And if you're not a research geeky person, you have a friend that is. And so ask her, like, what's your favorite thing? What's your favorite earthy, crunchy thing? What's your favorite toothpaste? You know, and then go from there. And I also love the app Think Dirty because it kind of highlights like what ingredients are in it. And you can see, do I want to put this on my body? Do I want to use this? So that's a great tool to have in your back pocket too.
I forgot about that too. Like you've had quite the transformation with your hair and with your skin, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about
that. So I had the same hairdresser since before I had kids until I moved to Idaho. And when you go through thyroid stuff, that's a huge part of it. Your hair just falls out in clumps, like literal clumps of hair. And so I was so worried that I was going to go bald. And so I had told especially some of the treatments I had had, and my hairdresser's like, you're not going to go bald. But like, you know, right in this area here, it was starting to get really thin. And then just the sheer amount of hair when you would wash your hair coming out is terrifying. And so I always kept it really short. One, because I just didn't have the wherewithal brain wise to be able to think about styling, curling, brushing, any of those things, you know. And then switching to a very amazing hair care system, it definitely has, like, it's just shocking the difference. I don't have the clumps of hair that come out anymore. I don't, you know, my hair looks completely different than it used to. And obviously you can see that I have blonde highlights. You know, it's healthy, it's not crunchy. It just, yeah, it's amazing.
So you have an amazing story with your son, Grant. That is the greatest story yet with our Axio. Can you please tell everybody that story?
Oh my goodness. Yes. So my last, well, now he's not really a baby, but my baby, he just turned 17. So when I started this journey, it was 2019. And I really didn't expect a lot from it. But I was trying our flagship product, the Little Yellow Activator. And then what I like to call, you know, my go-go juice or my brain juice or my natural energy. So I was trying it. State testing was always huge issue for my kiddo. And it was the end of the school year, state testing. So it was like the perfect storm. Always had issues with focus, sitting still, all the things. And so I'm driving him to school and he's in the back seat whining and complaining because it's state testing. And, you know, that means extra homework. That means missing all of his breaks at school. That means staying in one room because all the other kids are done with their tests and he's still taking his test. So I said, here, just have a sip of this, right? So I had mixed my bottle. I handed it back to him in the back seat. And I'm like, here, take a drink. He handed it back to me and he drank half my bottle. I was so annoyed, but I was like, okay, whatever. He gets out of the car, goes to school. I go to pick him up from school and he gets in the car and his demeanor was like beaming, like a just giant smile on his face. And he was like, oh my gosh, Mom, I don't know what was in that bottle, but I finished 2 of the tests in 1 class period. I didn't miss anything. And I was able to free read. And I literally almost fell out of the car because 1, he didn't like to read. 2, the state testing was like pulling out your intestines. Like it just was painful. Didn't come home with homework. And he was like, what? I don't know what was in that bottle, but whatever it was, I need it for next year. And I was like, 100%. So he has not skipped a beat. That was the end of 5th grade. And every morning he has it. If he's got a big paper he's got to write, it will switch to a decaf in the afternoon. But it just has been huge. My older son, who is at BSU, he uses it like pre-workout. He'll drink it, but everybody in our household drinks lots of it because we just could not survive without it. My husband switched from drinking, awful, terrible energy drinks to actually drinking water, and then, our brain food. So I never am without that either.
Isn't it your husband too? He was a big skeptic of all of this in the beginning. And then
Totally.
Now he gets kind of crabby when you don't have it in the house, right?
Oh my word. Yes. He is always kind of like, oh, that snake oil stuff. Anytime I'm trying anything earthy, crunchy, because he was raised completely opposite, like completely opposite. So in the beginning of our marriage, it took him a minute to like kind of accept and, get on board. And even still, he'll give me a hard time, except he saw the difference in me. He saw the difference once I started taking it. And he goes, all right, I need to take this too. And I go, well, I've only ordered one bottle and one bag of Axio. So you can't be taking my stuff. We're going to need to order another bag. Now, if he happens to forget to take the little yellow activator, this like we have to have on hand, and we have it in multiple flavors because everyone in our household, he probably drinks like 3 of them a day. He travels a lot for business, so it's huge. It's been huge for our whole entire family. But yeah, he doesn't skip a day either, and he understands that is our health alternative. That's what keeps us healthy and going, and that is really like our insurance policy. Him being able to take those. Yeah.
I have a teenage daughter too. And I'll tell you guys, like, I see it with my daughter as well, right? Every morning, she gets Protandim, Nerve 2. She gets the AM, our multi-nutrient vitamin. And then with Axio, I see with her when she feels overwhelmed with homework, she's a senior, and I make her an Axio, it's like a switch goes off. And she instantly can I physically see the calmness in her. And she's aware of it as well. So she's able to focus. There's not that overwhelmed sensation anymore. And she can get done what she needs to get done. It truly is magic. Jen, I just want to end with this one real quick thing for you to give everybody a tip. You and I both know one of our favorite things during this time of year, sniffle, cold, flu season. Tell them what your favorite thing is, and then we'll.
Oh my gosh, like I could talk for hours on any of our products because I just love all of them so much. But one thing I think everybody should have in their medicine cabinet all the time, I make sure I never run out of it, is Daily Wellness. And Daily Wellness has 5 things in it. And those 5 things are usually what people go and grab at the grocery store. This makes it super easy because it's in one scoop. Boost your immunity. I mean, it just is phenomenal how fast it works. Everybody knows as soon as there's like a sneeze or a sniff, I'm like, get a scoop. You know what I mean? Like it is on hand and it's ingrained in everyone. Yeah, but like especially with my husband traveling and stuff like that. So it's huge in our household. We do not run out of that. That is one thing we have to have, and it's good for your gut too. So I mean, it's a postbiotic, and I could geek out on that too. But I just adore it, and it tastes delicious. You can do it hot or cold, whatever your preference. But it definitely is a must have, especially if you have young kids in elementary school. You will thank me. Trust me. Get it. Don't wait. Order today. Like, yeah. Order 2. Like, make sure you get it.
I know it's been a game changer for me too. And how I used to feel in the fall, like I would sound like I had like this I would lose my voice. And
you sound like a seal.
Oh yeah. I thought, this is just how it's going to be for me every fall. And then Daily Wellness came out. We created it in 2020. And I just don't go through that in the fall anymore. It's just, it's a game changer. It's magic. So
it really
much
is.
magic. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
a must have.
Jen, thank you for opening up about your journey a little bit more. And if anybody has questions, like put them in the comments. In Vitality Living, and we can connect you with Jen personally if you want to hear a little bit more. She can get a little more intimate on her details. Yeah, that's her heart. It's just to share and to serve with you. But I hope this brought you value today. I hope you learned a little bit more. And again, if you have questions, just put them in the comments. Otherwise, we're so grateful you were here. And Jen, thank you for sharing. Love you.
Love you. Thank you.
All right. Everyone have a great day. Bye.